Demon Slayer 2 is getting more of a mixed reaction than what I was expecting. When I look at this game, I see a sequel to my favorite arena fighter ever, but when others look at this game, they ask, why couldn't this be DLC? It's true that if you look at Versus gameplay footage, the game looks very similar. From a casual standpoint, there might be a few differences you can spot, but most of them will only be noticeable if you play this game competitively for many hours. That's me, by the way. I play this game competitively for many hours. But even from a casual point of view, I'm struggling to understand this criticism. Back when the Storm games were coming out, no one said Storm 3 could have been DLC, or Storm 4 for that matter. Not to mention the in-between games like Generations or Revolution. And I don't see the difference between those games and Demon Slayer 2. This game is doing a story mode covering 3 whole new seasons, they've got 11 brand new characters revealed so far, and after Yoriichi Type 0, I'm really hoping to get those emotions announced as well. New ultimates for everyone, team ultimates for specific combinations of characters. Content-wise, this is more than enough to justify a sequel. In fact, if this actually came out as an update, as many fans are asking, you would have been paying way more. The Entertainment District characters for the first game cost $25. That's the season pass. Assuming they did another pass for Swordsmith Village and Hashira Training, that would be $50 right there for the characters alone. On top of that, you gotta add the new story mode, the new ultimates, and all the system changes you're doing. And yes, these system changes may look small to most players, but they certainly are not. The more I think about it, the more it feels like it's not that the game is offering less than a sequel usually does, it's that times have changed, and gamers have changed with the times. Sparking Zero was the first big wake-up call for me. One of the reasons why players seem to hate that game nowadays is because if you don't like the PvP aspect, the game has no content. Sparking Zero has arguably more content than Tenkaichi 3 did, a game that many consider a timeless classic, while Sparking Zero is seen as a dead game. It's clearly not a dead game, by the way, but it's definitely not as popular as you would expect. And I think the reason why players feel this way is because Dragon Ball fans now have Xenoverse 2. A game where even if you don't care about the PvP side of things, you still have a ton of content to experience and unlock. Demon Slayer 2 is coming out in an era where people are used to their games being updated forever, even if that ends up being more expensive to the average player over time. Since the upfront cost isn't $60, it feels more digestible, while selling a new game feels like a cash grab, even though it's actually cheaper for the consumer. I also think this is a unique time where fans are more cautious than ever before when it comes to anime games, because we just had Naruto Storm Connections, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and Bleach Rebirth of Souls come out back to back. Games that have each let their own communities down, each one in their own different ways. So it's hard to be excited for another CyberConnect 2 game in 2025 after being burned so many times. At the same time, it's a great opportunity for Sega and Aniplex to show that they're different from Bandai Namco, that they won't rush out an incomplete game, they can trust these companies to not be the cash grab monsters that we're so used to. All Demon Slayer 2 needs to do in order to be a good sequel is that new story mode they're already doing, full of different activities and unique boss fights, and make sure they don't cut any of the online features they already had in the first game, like the lobbies with spectator slots and bonus points if they upgrade their netcode like they did for Storm Connections using Microsoft PlayFab. But unfortunately, even that baseline is not a guarantee. CC2 often cuts essential features from sequels. They've done it for years now. And the same Sega and Aniplex launched the first game full of issues. Demon Slayer 1 came out without lobbies, the PlayStation 4 version was extremely broken, and online was filled with desyncing issues. So even though this feels like an easy sequel to make, it's also hard for me to be all in and excited. And I don't think the marketing is helping. I've gotten some pushback for this take before. Comments like, I don't understand why you say the game marketing has been bad. I remember it is almost identical to how the first game was back in 2021. And you're right, it is almost identical. They were also releasing 1-minute gameplay trailers, a strategy that Bandai even copied with Bleach Rebirth of Souls. But this strategy is much weaker when the trailers you are showing are not character reveals. In Demon Slayer 2, we knew all of these characters were coming out before the gameplay trailers. The one exception was Yoriichi Type 0. And the reason why we knew it was because they either had them playable at events, and fans captured it with a camera, because of course they did, or because they leaked it themselves by announcing early unlocks as pre-order bonuses. And this is simply put, bad planning. On top of it, they are still not letting creators capture their game. This is something they did during the first game as well. We got very little gameplay before release because Aniplex would only let voice actors or select media outlets play the game, as an attempt to control the message as much as possible before release. The problem with this strategy, and a lot of Japanese companies still use it, is that it doesn't work. Creators will still capture and talk about the game. The only difference is that the gameplay will look like this. And overall, that just makes the game look worse than it actually is. Plus, using the same strategy that you did back in 2021 feels even more outdated now in 2025 because influencer or creator marketing has evolved a lot and Aniplex feels stuck in their old ways. I also realized I am biased when talking about this. Of course, I would want them to be better at marketing the game using content creators, right? But every event where the game has been playable so far was an event that I wasn't even able to attend, to be honest. So I don't think it has applied to me yet. I would just like all of this gameplay that people have been uploaded to be direct feed rather than being filmed by a camera, and I think so does everyone else. There's a general feeling of fear when it comes to showing this game off that doesn't help putting fans at ease, assuring them that this won't go the same way those other anime games did. So if Aniplex isn't showing the game off themselves, I think we gotta talk to someone who is, someone who has played it extensively at a recent event.
I was actually asked by a couple of people how I feel about this game, like, does it feel like a new game? Does it feel like a DLC? Do you remember Storm 3 and Storm Revolution?
Right.
Basically, that's the change that it feels like. Like Revolution after Storm 3.
Revolution took stuff away from your moveset and make you choose while adding a few other features, but like they fundamentally changed how the game worked in a way that I don't see this game doing. But
yeah, but if you think about it, we don't have a round 3. Also, we don't have a level 3. We cannot surge and then ult.
I guess so.
We most likely won't have demons surging and then boosting and time wasting the whole time.
Right.
Which is, I would say, a big thing. But of course, we don't know the story mode yet. So
wow, I guess like yeah, it's changed more than I expected. I guess in a way.
So it is really similar, but at the same time it feels new. The way it feels new is mainly because of the buttons. One of them I don't really like, and it's the parry one. Whenever I'm, usually playing, I just guard and jump. And now that it's literally the parry button, it's a bit of a hassle for me.
I see misinputs.
Even though I hate it, I can understand why they made this change. It's only a problem for me.
This is Trader PC, who recently uploaded close to 3 hours of gameplay that he captured at EVO Japan. Much like me, Trader has played the first game extensively. He entered and organized tournaments as well. So to me, this is the right person to talk to if you want to know how the gameplay feels. And since we both played in a lot of tournaments, I had to ask about one of the biggest issues the first game had. How do you deal with zoners?
If Susamaru was in this build as she is in Demon Slayer 1, do you think she would still be the strongest character in this build right now?
Most likely. Even with the parry change that we can parry projectiles, because I still feel like she's too strong. At the end of the day, you're just standing still while parrying. She's still time wasting.
Well, you're building meter for free with the parries, right? So you're just like getting a ton of boost to get a ton of...
I do have to catch her though.
You do have to catch her eventually. We're seeing efforts being made to balance the game on demons versus slayers, but we haven't seen that attempt at balancing zoning yet. Of course, they don't have zoners in this build, so maybe there's something that they're doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But right now, with what we have, you would say zoning is just as strong in Demon Slayer 2 as it is in 1.
Yes, but they did make a good attempt with the new slayers. Like Yomei he's one of the characters that I would say if he's not changed, he's gonna be a good contender for being one of the best characters in the game. Bitsuri also amazing, both as a main character and as a support character. We don't talk about Sanami. Muichiro is also a cool character. Most of the Hashiras are great additions, so it does make me wonder how have they changed the rest of the cast, because again, like Nezuko got changed. Tengen apparently got nerfed to the ground, but I have not tried him. That's Mask.
Oh, I heard this DP recovers a lot faster and starts a yellow combo now. So that's a good change.
Maybe I didn't play him. Like I tried him once.
I liked what I saw from Rengoku. I'll tell you that his changes are significant.
Yeah.
as far as new mechanics go, I want to talk about the new heavy. Because the new heavy, it looks weird to me, so maybe you can break this down for us. You can charge it up now. It costs 1 bar of meter if you charge it up, or up to 1 bar, depending on how much you charge it. And it actually dashes towards the opponent in a straight line. But not the entire thing is charged. I saw this heavy getting interrupted multiple times. So can you explain how it actually works now with a heavy attack?
Yes, so heavy is also a little bit janky, and I didn't completely get which part of it is janky. So the charge up is 100% armor. There's no problem there. If someone got caught there, he probably let go of the button too early. The dash is where the problem is. Sometimes it happened to me that a character who charged up his heavy just dashed at me. I was literally doing Sanami's tornado attack and he just didn't care. He just still hit me and he came out victorious. Sometimes it clashed, sometimes literally a dash stopped it. So yeah, the dash part is a little bit janky. And yes, it still breaks guard if you completely charge it up. Like some people asked me about it, it still breaks it.
What about the attack itself? Is the attack itself armored? Like if you just don't hold it at all, you just do an old school heavy, that's still armored.
Yes, it is armored, and not only that, but you can also land it in the middle of combos. So if you time it right, you can literally heavy in the middle of your combos.
That's gonna open up routing so much. That's gonna be fun to explore. Let's talk about some stuff with more casual appeal, because I think ultimates are what CC2 is known for, and they have cooked in this game like they usually do. That said, I've seen a lot of level 1 ultimates or level 2s. I've seen a lot of team ultimates, and I have some questions. For instance, Gyome, he has an ultimate in this build that is different from the ultimate in the trailer. Do you have any idea what's going on there?
I have no idea. There was no way to switch ultimates. Basically, I did test with that too. Every single character only had 1 solo ultimate and 1 team ultimate.
I do have a running theory, which is selectable ultimates are going to be a thing because they have changed the ultimates for everyone. Basically, we've seen a new Gyu ultimate, we've seen a new Shinobu ultimate, a new Nezuko ultimate, but I believe the first game's ultimates are going to still be in the game and they're going to be selectable. And if you give the old characters an extra ultimate to select, maybe for the new characters they're doing 2 ults instead of 1. And that's my running theory for now.
Especially Gyu's ultimate is like probably the best addition because people kept dropping that a lot. His ultimate is easier to land.
Because the activation is different too. You know, it's not just a visual thing. It's the activation itself, the way you land it. So like combo routes could be different depending on the ultimate you select.
100%. He jumps forward, I believe, with his sword instead of just standing still and just slashing onto the ground. Game is fun. I do wonder how much more they're gonna change it. I do have tempered expectations because of other anime games and other CC2 games, but I am hyped. I really am hyped about Demon Slayer 2, and that's exactly how it looked like in my comment sections as well. A lot of people were curious about a lot of stuff that I definitely didn't have a chance to test out. And they even asked me questions, which will definitely be in my Q&A video.
And if you want to see that Q&A video along with 3 hours of Demon Slayer 2 gameplay, check out Trader's channel, the link is down below. Overall, the game seems like it's exactly what I want. Similar overall, but feeling slightly different. And I don't want them to reinvent the wheel. I just need the same features from the first game and better support over time. Being stuck in a Susamaru meta is what killed the game for me personally, but it would certainly help to see them being a bit more confident about the game when showing it off. Let people capture gameplay, let us know what the online looks like, let your fans know what they can look forward to. That's what confident marketing looks like, not being scared of showing what the game has to offer. That's gonna do it for today, but if you guys want to learn more about this game's story mode, I've analyzed everything we have so far and put it together in this video right here. Thanks for watching. Bye.